Okay, our recording is on. Welcome everybody to the August 12th broadcast of So What Zoomcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Linda Hahn, and my other co-host, Deborah Stanley. She is on her Zoom, and our guest, Pepper Cory. We're going to introduce her in a couple of seconds. There is no recording of our broadcast because we are recording it for you, and we will upload it to our YouTube channel. We usually do it on Friday mornings. If you have a question for us or our guest, please direct them to the chat feature on the side. And if Pepper doesn't see them, we will relay them to her. And we will say, Stevie wants to know, so you know that she's answering your questions. We're still all learning Zoom. It's a whole new thing. And we will have, later on, our door prizes. And we do our door prizes a little different. We will each choose a door prize. And then, since Stevie's here, Stevie will choose a door prize for our sponsor. And we want to know what you have in your glass. Because we're all kind of social here. That's what we mean to do. We mean to keep everybody social. So once we call on you, we're going to spotlight your video, and we're going to ask you what's in your glass. And then everybody else who's on is going to give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if we will drink it, so if you get a lot of thumbs up, you will get a ding dong. Okay? If we won't drink it, okay, you will get the buzzer. You still get a door prize, but you got the buzzer. So, and we're recording all that. So some people are really proud to show us what they're drinking, and some people, like you water people or milk people, are sometimes are a little ashamed. Get the buzzer. So we're watching. So before I turn this over to Deb, I like my wine. And for our broadcast today, I am drinking the Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc. Some kind of something in the bottle because it goes really fast. Whoa.
That's going to
Get myself a ding dong.
Got my camera up.
Who is that?
What is that?
Gave myself a ding dong. I guess got excited. Okay. So if you don't have any, don't tell us now, Marie. Tell us when it's ready. When we're ready. It might be gone by the time we get to you. So where's Deb? Deb, your camera. We lost your camera. Where are you hiding? There you are.
No,
This is what happened.
Got me? There you go.
Okay. So Deb.
Okay.
What are you drinking?
Well, today, yes. Can you see me? Can you see me?
No. I can see you. I can't see what you're drinking.
There's more people.
Oh.
I don't see anybody from our.
Same old. Coke Zero. Sorry. Waiting for the thumbs down, right?
Really, Deb? I'm not even going to ask them. You're just getting a buzzer.
Okay.
So, without further ado. Oh, I think Deb was going. Without further ado, we have the fabulous Pepper Cory coming to us from her she shed. Who's that guy that burns down the she shed?
I don't know. Thankfully, he doesn't live around here.
You don't have one,
Yes,
but you're in North Carolina.
Yes. I'm in Beaufort, North Carolina.
And you specialize in hand piecing sashiko and using unique antique quilt block designs. I didn't even say that. They didn't have any wine yet. So let's start off with sashiko. Am I saying it right?
Sashiko.
What is that?
Sashiko is a Japanese term for a type of running stitch that goes through usually one layer at a time. But here in this country, we also use something that kind of looks like sashiko called big stitch quilting. But sashiko in its pure Japanese form is just through one layer, maybe two layers of fabric. It doesn't have batting in it. So it started as being patches for clothing, you know, across the yoke of a jacket or at an elbow where things would get worn. You know, the farm wife or whatever would take her husband's jacket and mend it with plain white thread. So that was that's where it started, as a mending or darning technique. It wasn't real pretty or fancy to begin with. And then, like about everybody in the world, 1976, maybe a little earlier for some, there was a revival of interest in handwork. You know, we can put a rough date of 1976 on it, the bicentennial for us. But also in Japan, people started looking back and thinking, you know, my grandmother used to do that. And so if you were lucky enough to be attending quilt shows in the 1900s, like 1980s, 1990s, you'd see lots and lots of ladies from Japan. And they added sashiko to their, quilts and kind of brought it to us. And I was very interested in it. The first time I did it like embroidery. I put it in a hoop, like tension, you know? And it looked horrible when I took the hoop off of it. You don't use a hoop. It's right in between your hands, you know? And it's a really neat technique, and with very little practice, you can make a nice running stitch. You know, it's like something for everybody, I think. So now I've incorporated it into quilts. The quilt that's behind me, which I'm not sure how it comes across in your camera, but I can show you other things closer up. But that's a combination of an American patchwork pattern with sashiko. So sashiko is not usually done in big amounts. You know, you don't do 2 yards of sashiko and decide what to do with it. You do it in just little pieces. And then you find a way to put it into things. I've got a jacket and 3 pillows back there, and I will be able to walk back and bring them, you know, up to you closer. But I'm also happy to take any questions that viewers might have about sashiko, and as best I can, you know, how to do it and what tools you use and things like that. Does anybody have a question?
Why is it always seems to be blue?
Well, the classic sashiko is blue and white. Just like you would say the classic applique colors here in this country were red and green on white, you know, if you want to go back into the 1800s. So that's just where it started. But nowadays, sashiko can be done in all colors. And people in Japan are doing wonderful things. Some of them are doing sashiko on linen or wool or silk, and they're using metallic and variegated threads, all kinds of things. But it's like a recognition. You can always go, blue and white, sashiko, you know?
Now, what with the blue fabric, is it a certain kind of fabric? Is it like a little, the thread count is a little looser, or?
Actually, it can be a little more intense. You can do sashiko on any fabric, okay? I think the one that I would really kind of draw the line on is to do sashiko on batik. And that's just because the hand of batik is very firm, and it would be harder to punch the hand needle in and out, you know. So like on this quilt behind me, I might do the patchwork in batiks, you know, the 9 patches, but then I do the sashiko on a softer cotton. And I do it on my peppered cottons. These are the ones I designed for Studio E fabrics. And I also do it on a fabric that comes from a decorating company here in North Carolina. And they call it an indigo homespun. So.
You're starting to get a bunch of questions.
Oh, I am? Okay.
A lot about thread and pearl cotton.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Usual sashiko thread looks like this. Okay. It's Japanese and it comes in a hank. And it can be there's about 3 or 4 different weights of sashiko thread. I'm sorry that I cannot tell you what the weight of this is because every sashiko thread company has all of its packaging only in Japanese, and I don't read Japanese. So, you take the hank of thread out of the package, and then you'd slide off this little paper thingy, and you want to find where the hank folds over. And then in that, you want to find the stuff that it folds over once again. I'm going to embarrass myself if I have to do it in front of you. I always call this working without a net when you have to do something like this in front of people. Anyway, yeah, right, she says, it unfolds and you have to bounce it to kind of get the fold out of the thread. It feels kind of sticky. There's no coating or mercerizing on this thread, but in order to do sashiko when I wanted to, and I couldn't always have, at that time, it was not always easy to have a supply of real sashiko thread. So I read in a book that number 8 pearl cotton was a pretty good substitute. Now it is a little slicker than the sashiko thread that comes in the skeins, but it works real well. And number 8 pearl is available almost every place. Even the big box stores like Michael's and Hobby Lobby have number 8 pearl. There's also a slightly smaller number 12. And you'll find that in a store that specializes in embroidery. So I was very happy that if I couldn't find the authentic sashiko thread, I always could find pearl cotton. So my quilts and objects vary, you know, depending on when I could find supplies. When I started to teach sashiko, I taught using pearl cotton because I could afford to give each person in their kit one of these, you know. It was just easier to do. Get into the craft and then you can decide what thread you like. The Japanese sashiko thread is lovely, but it's just not available to everybody. And right now, of course, with many stores closed or limited hours, you do have to go mail order. So I'm sure there'll be some sources here about mail order Japanese thread. So that's the thread that I use. Any other questions? Linda, there's probably oh gosh almighty, down in the chat. Is that what I'm supposed to click?
Yeah,
oh boy.
Okay, we're doing the thread.
Thread.
Tell us about Kim. Wants to know about the quilt behind you.
Okay.
Sashiko all over or just in the squares, or is there other quilts?
The sashiko is just in the big navy blue squares. Okay. Galaxy Tab S2 says, did you say bed sheets? No, I said batiks. Now, bed sheets also.
What's she drinking? What has she got in her glass?
Bed, old-timey quilters sometimes do use bed sheets as the backing for their quilts, but honestly, good quality sheets are just too hard to do hand sashiko through, so no, I wouldn't recommend them. Sashiko, Sashiko, sashiko.
Do the patterns mean anything?
Yes, but not all of them. The sashiko patterns seem to be divided into about 3 categories, and these are loose, okay? Because people are still inventing sashiko patterns. One is geometric patterns, just things that are pretty, and some of those have meaning and some don't. And the others definitely have strong symbolic value, like there's some Buddhist symbols and things. And then there's a third one that's naturalistic, flowers, birds, things like that. So there are some things. That's a really good question, though. I'm going to turn around and get a little sashiko piece I did and hold it up and show you some of the symbols that are on it. Is that okay, Linda?
Absolutely.
Just right here. Just right here. Okay. Let me see if I can hold it straight. There we go. Okay. This is a sashiko Valentine. And the sashiko Valentine is a rabbit holding a Valentine. And I signed it X and O. That's not on the stencil. This is available as a stencil that I did. But as you can see, like a crazy quilt, the heart has 3 areas. And this one over here, the 6-pointed star, we would think of it as a 6-pointed star, but the Japanese think of it as a flax leaf. It's called asanoa, and that is symbolic of long life. Flax is used to make linen cloth, and linen lasts a long time. It's strong. And then over there, those are just waves. We might call them clamshell, but they're considered waves. So that's the ocean, and that stands for eternity. And this down here, that's tortoiseshell. And tortoises live a long, long time. You know, some of those big tortoises, they say can live like 200 plus years, you know, the big ones. So what this Valentine is saying is, I wish good health for you for a long, long time, and my love forever. Okay,
Oh, wow.
So the symbols are there if you know what they are, but it also could just be a nice design.
Now, where would somebody find your stencils?
Okay, stencils can be found online. There's a huge company that makes most of the quilting stencils in the US, and their name is Quilting Creations. So you just type in quiltingcreations.com, and up comes an enormous website. It's very plain. I mean, it's not fancy at all. So you have to kind of limit what you want to find. Borders, blocks, but you can type in sashiko as a search word, and several hundred stencils will come up. So they're very nice people, and they're the ones who make all my stencils for me.
Well, they're fabulous. They do my New York beauty stuff.
They are. They're lovely people.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so that's
And it's a mom and pop operation.
It is. It's out of Zoar, Ohio, which is just a little tiny town.
Please repeat the website. It's quiltingcreations.com. An S.
Mm-hmm. And this is a shamacho.
Shamacho.
Macho.
I got a New Jersey accent. It's not gonna come out like nice.
Shamacho.
Shamacho.
Oh, that's it. And it means stripes or striped sampler. And so you do the piece of patchwork, see the patchwork behind it, and then you completely cover it with a sashiko design. And this is that asanoa again, that long life and strength thing. My husband loves this piece, and he keeps asking me when it's going to come from the studio and come into the house. So we may be rearranging the pictures in the living room to make room for this one.
And did you frame it?
No, I don't think so. It is just linen on the edges, pulled over. This is actually an already made canvas. I think I got it from Michael's. So I took the linen and stapled it here around the edges. I think I just use it like that. I mean, you could frame it if you wanted to, but I don't need to, you know.
I love that.
So that's a shimacho or a stripe book. In the 19th century in Japan, there were a lot of people who were weavers and they lived in the countryside. And how did they advertise, you know? So when they wove a certain stripe or a plaid, because they were limited to that at that time, they'd always take a little piece of it and they'd paste it in a book of rice paper. And so when a person came to them to buy, they'd have this big book that they could look through, you know, and a person could say, oh, well, I want that one. But the Japanese being who they are and the way they keep things very orderly, the shimacho books right now are works of art, just even one page at a time, you know. I tried to buy one shimacho page once in an online auction. And I bid up to $300 and dropped out. And the one page went for like $600.
Wow.
But it dated from about 1852 and it had the most beautiful indigo fabrics. But it just wasn't something I could afford at this time. So I made my own.
Wow. The girls are asking what type of needles?
Okay. All right, you just fell right into that. If you want to, you can certainly buy sashiko needles. And they're straight from Japan. And just like with the sashiko thread, you have to kind of work around the fact that there is very little English packaging, okay? In terms of size, if you're a needle worker yourself, you may find that you can go into your needle box and find some things that would work for you. I would suggest a number 4 crewel embroidery needle, or like a 22 chenille. One of the larger betweens, like a number 5 or 4 or 3. Now, because I knew that that was going to come up, I just happened to have a pack of the sashiko needles that I designed for the Colonial Needle Company. And what we did was take every Japanese needle we could find, and we weighed it and we measured it, and we found that there were equivalents in English or American needles. So this has that number 4 embroidery, number 22 chenille in the pack. This is a sampler pack. So this is a good way to start looking for whatever your favorite needle is going to be. But you might find you've got something, you know, in your own needles. It should be easy to grasp, not tiny, not like a hand quilting needle at all. Make sure that your needle is at least 1.25 inches and maybe larger, okay? Something that you can grasp like this, not like this. And you have to be able to thread your number 8 pearl easily. So no tiny eyes. We want big eyes on that.
So you can't use one of those needle threader doohickeys.
They're not as handy. I have found there are a few needle threaders, but they're usually the old-fashioned wire ones that you have to poke through. But the upside down needle threaders are made for smaller needles, for when we need to thread needles for hand quilting, you know? So.
Not that I do any handwork. It's somewhat of a joke that I don't do my own bindings. I don't know where that came from.
Okay, let's
Somebody
see.
squealed.
Somebody squealed. All right, there's some other questions. Okay, what type of needle? We were just thinking about that. And Becky from Shibori Dragon is one of the participants here. And Becky owns a mail order store. which has a lot of Japanese things like needles and threads and things like that. And she could talk to you about that maybe later on or something. And so she's very knowledgeable. That's nice that you've got a source right here on the broadcast thing. Quiltingstencils.com is actually an outgrowth of Quilting Creations. Kathy says quiltingstencils.com, the stencil company. Yeah, all their stencils are made by the people in Ohio. Where do we purchase your needles? Okay, lots of independent stores have them and individual vendors. I think probably Becky from Shibori Dragon has them. So I'm here at the beginning of that process of designing the needles for the company, and I certainly can't keep track of all the people that sell them, but I'm sure these days we're all becoming expert at looking for things online.
Yeah.
So you will probably find them all over Amazon and eBay. So I think
You got your hands in a lot of pots. You design fabric.
Yeah. And
you got a couple
right.
blogs.
Yep.
And you're an author.
I just did a blog about my 10 new colors in the peppered cotton line, and I have those here.
Oh, let's see.
These are the 10 new colors.
Ooh.
And Linda, I'd like to offer 2 of these. These are fat quarters. So altogether, these would be 2.5 yards of fabric. So I'd like to offer 2 of these as door prizes.
Oh, awesome.
And I would be happy to mail them to whoever you pick, I pick, whatever.
Me.
Oh, what do you see? They're going to be shaking their glasses and holding up signs. They like that.
That's great. That's great. Would you like to see some other things a little closer up?
Yes.
All righty. I'm going to get up and walk back to the back and then sort of bring some things forward for you.
Awesome.
Okay. By the way, I am 8 weeks out of hip surgery.
Yay!
Yay! And for the last 3 days, I've been walking without a cane. But I do sometimes list a little.
That looks like a big shed.
It is a 2-car garage.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was one of the ways that we could build it here, is to sort of pass it off as a garage because we didn't have one. So, how about a Shimacho pillow? So,
I'm going to be saying that word like for days.
Shimacho, S-H-I-M-A-C-H-O, Shimacho. So that's a pillow with one design on it. And on the back are some patches that are done with Big Stitch in other colors of fabric. And this is more what they call boro patching, which means rags actually. But boro is kind of becoming an art on its own.
Boro.
So when I pulled, can you see the threads here? When I pulled the peppered cottons in 2 directions, you can see that they are woven of 2 different colors. And this teal blue down here actually is woven out of a very bright green and a very bright blue, but it yields that color.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
That's what shot cottons are. They're always 2 colors. So that's a pillow. I didn't know that I'd get into garments, but I did. And this was a linen blouse that I bought on eBay. And I took it apart and did sashiko on the yoke. I lined the yoke by hand. You know, I wanted to cover up any knots and threads and things like that. And changed out all the buttons. These are lovely little antique black buttons, black jet buttons from England. I took some of the lining fabric and gave it pockets. I hate things without pockets, you know? So that would be like a smock. I think I'd wear like a black turtleneck under it, you know? And this shows as a very light yellow in your screen. It's not. This is like a screaming yellow. Do you remember screaming yellow zonkers? They were a snack food.
Yes.
That's really what it's like in person. It's really bright. But something I wear all the time is a blue jean jacket. And blue jean jackets are great for Sashiko. So this is my traveling jacket. And it has lots of Sashiko going on.
Wow.
Wow.
And it shows that I'm a slow stitcher. There's a snail on it at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
slow and I'm proud of it. So, this kind of denim, not real thick denim. Don't go out and get, you know, like a man's Levi jacket. You want one of those denims that has some spandex woven into it, so it's soft, you know. So this has been used by me for about 5 years now, and it just keeps getting better, you know. I did go ahead and line the inside where I did the Sashiko again, just because there were so many threads hanging off and stuff. I thought I took a piece of an old indigo from India, cut a chunk out of it, and hand sewed it in place. Haven't had any problem with it since. So those are 2 garments and a pillow. Let me get you a quilt.
When you're at a show or an event and you're wearing your garments, do people come up and pet you?
Yeah. They say, where can I buy that?
Yeah. I think quilt shows are the only places where there's, you know, people are not offended if they pet you.
No.
If a stranger walks by and pets you.
Yeah. This is a smaller quilt, probably about the size of a throw. And it has alternate blocks of Sashiko.
Wow.
This was machine quilted for me by my friend, Vicki Garner. And she did a really nice job. So some Sashiko patterns are simply geometric. And let's see. I'm trying to get, oh, this one seems to be a Buddhist symbol, but I'm not sure of the name of it. But it whirls around and around and around. I like that one. And this is a variation on waves. This is something I teach a class in. So, waves. This is a combination of kind of who I am. I really like American patchwork. I like scrappy patchwork. And yet when I met Sashiko, it just kind of filled a need inside, you know? I just really enjoy combining the two. This is going to be in an exhibition in Western North Carolina. It's not going to be for sale, but it kind of shows where I'm coming from. I don't see anything wrong in combining American patchwork and a Japanese style of quilting. If that's who you are and it's what you like, by all means, do it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, questions, people? Put them in. Is there a special kind of thimble or whatever that you might? I saw it in one of the booths.
Yeah, there's two kinds of, well, there's more than 2 kinds of Japanese thimbles. There's a ring thimble that you wear here on this finger, and you put the side here, the side on the outside, this knuckle, that you're going to use as a pushing thing. So when you use a long needle, the head of it actually rests against that Japanese thimble. However, if you're already a Western stitcher and you use a thimble, by all means, go ahead and use the thimble. It's whatever feels comfortable for you. So you can try the Japanese thimble, and if you like that, by all means, use it. But if you're already into a Western type of thimble, use it. The fact of the matter is you will need something to protect your fingers. Otherwise, you will stop stitching after about a half an hour, and you will poke yourself, and your fingers will be sore. So get used to the idea that you need some kind of protection on your pushing hand. Whichever hand you use to push the needle needs some kind of protection, called a thimble in our case.
Now the actual stitch, I guess hand quilt, and now this is from me not doing any handwork. So Deb, you might want to jump in on this and so that I say it right. Is there a standard for X amount of stitches per inch?
Oh, that's a good question. But it depends on what you're sewing on. If you were sewing several layers of fabric together, your stitches would be bigger. If you were sewing on a heavy linen, your stitches would be bigger. The main thing is make them even. So if I measured my stitches per inch, I'd say, first of all, don't get caught up in that stitches per inch thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I take approximately 5 stitches an inch. And I like having my gaps about half the size of my stitch. Now that's my rhythm. And if you did big stitches like 1/4 of an inch and you wanted 1/4 of an inch gap, I'd say go for it. But I don't think you want really, really big stitching on a small project. You know, this little pillow needs fairly dense stitching. That's only a 6-inch square, okay? So
I still want to do it now.
that's nice. I'm glad.
Did everybody hear that? I will do something by hand.
I think do something like a blue jean jacket, you know.
How about a coaster? I'll get that done by next year.
Okay, coaster, right. Mug rug, as they say.
I'm really slow. I'm really slow.
And I'm really dense when it comes to machine quilting. I've taken lessons. I've taken lessons on long arm. I've gone okay, and then I go straight back to hand quilting. But when it comes to finishing my own quilts, I'm very grateful for the long arm quilters that we have near us, you know. And they work with me and they try to get things right, you know. Can you see the machine quilting on the inner blue border?
I can see some of it.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
Yeah. That's Vicki Garner's work. And we talked a lot about what's appropriate to put with sashiko. And so she matched the color of thread to the fabric so that it did not overwhelm the patchwork or the handwork. So work with your long armor.
Oh.
All
right.
I'm sorry.
Deb.
Well, I see that you got started with an antique quilt. That was your first introduction to quilting.
I saw one and went, oh God, I want to do this so badly. That was way back. I was 19 years old, and I just was awestruck at. It was a quilt top actually, and I could see the stitches on the back, and I was like, man, somebody did this all by hand, and that was really great because I was a poor college student. I did not own a sewing machine. So if the first quilt I'd met had been sewn by machine, I probably would have been discouraged. Now, that doesn't mean I don't own 6 machines, okay? I love my machines, but the introduction at that time in my life, because I saw that something big could be done by hand, it meant it was okay, and I could start on that.
There's a question here about Sashiko sewing machines. Do you
I know
have
what
that,
those
or do
are.
you? Is it all by
I
hand?
know what those are, and in fact, one of them lived with me for a while. But a Sashiko machine gives a nice, neat stitch. And if you have ever seen decorative stitching down a lapel, you know, where let's say the coat is brown, but the stitching is white, that's done with a Sashiko machine. What a Sashiko machine cannot do is stop and start where you need to, okay? But it gives, when you're doing garments, it gives a Sashiko effect very nicely. But I can tell at a glance the difference between hand and machine Sashiko. But, you know, it was invented for the garment industry in Japan. And it is very nice on those things.
Okay, Marie wants to know, is Vicki Garner in North Carolina?
She is. And right now, as far as I know, however, Vicki is not quilting for anyone but herself. I hate to say that. But there are many good long armors. And if you communicate with some in your area and tell them what you like and don't like, this is a great way to start a partnership, you know? And then if you maybe make a quilt and you enter it in a show, please put both your names on it, because it's important to share the credit on things like that. So yes, my friend Vicki is here, but I'm not going to give out where she is. And good luck on trying to find one Garner in this area. Garner is as common a name as Willis and Brown and Jones. And you'll be going through 3 pages of the phone book.
My daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter are Garners.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know then. It's a common name.
Right. My daughter is Jennifer Garner, but not the movie star.
So, let me see. Wow, there's a lot of, I'm trying to get the questions. Could you please show us the quilt on the wall? You know, that's a really good question. It is, believe it or not, pinned up higher than I can reach. I will be happy to walk back there and see if I can unpin it.
No.
But if I don't,
No, sorry.
okay, all right. My husband and I had to get on a ladder to do that. I'll walk back and you can see how high it is. I'm going to pick up something else to show you. Can you see? Okay. Other things to see. Sashiko is not always done in blue and white. There's Sashiko done over stripes. And it took me a long time to do it, but it was like a meditation. I really enjoyed doing it. And my friend Patty Brown finished this as a pillow for me. She did a beautiful job because I can't put a zipper in for anything, and it zips in. It's really nice. And this is a pillow sham, again, one that Patty finished for me. And it has one stripe of Sashiko that goes down through the center of it. And see, there we have thread in 3 colors: white, red, and orange. Yep. Okay. There are these wrapping cloths in Japan called furoshiki, and they can be as small as a bandana or almost a meter, 39 inches. So I designed some things that were 30 inches square, furoshikis, and they're the kind of thing you take to the market and you wrap up, you know, the few things that you buy, and you leave and you don't use a sack. You don't use like a paper bag. So this is a furoshiki that is 30 inches square, and it has a little bit of Sashiko in the corner and a little bit more in the other corner. This is hard for me to get used to. No, this way, Pepper. No, no. Hold on. Almost there. Yay. Okay. And a furoshki on one side is plain fabric. And on the other side, it's a really nice bit of traditional hand-printed Japanese fabric. And you can go into the store and you can wear your furoshki in the winter like a scarf. And then when you're set to get something and the guy says paper or plastic, you go neither. And you just take off your scarf and undo it and put your groceries in the middle and wrap it up and away you go.
Wow.
So those are some of the fun things that I have learned by talking to Japanese people and reading a lot of books, watching a lot of videos. People say, have you been to Japan? No, it's on my bucket list. I would really like to go, and I'm so sorry this year, the big show in Tokyo has been canceled due to the COVID-19. So.
Wow. All right, so you have 2 different blogs?
I do. One is just Pepper Cory at the Quilt Studio, peppercory.blogspot.com. And that's about anything I want to talk about. And then there is one for antique quilts called Quilt Flap. And every once in a while, I'll buy an antique quilt or I'll take something from the collection or one of my friends' quilts, and I'll just talk about it and show it and take close-ups of it. You know, a lot of antique quilts that we see on the internet are really beautiful things, and they're being shown for sale. But you know, that first antique quilt I met, it just knocked me off my feet. And sometimes I just like to take one quilt and explore it. And then you can see it close up like I was able to see it that time. So that's Quilt Flap.
Yeah. As we wind down, I know you judge.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to put that on our So What Zoomcast.
Mm-hmm.
And you teach. Are you working on virtual now that you got your own Zoom thing?
Well, due to being inspired by you, Linda, today I got my own Zoom room. And I think it's a possibility. And I'm taking some classes by a woman who's really good at encouraging people in business. And I'm hoping that I can do that. I think I also have to improve my camera. I have a computer camera, but I think an iPad might be a good thing to have in terms of it being like a very large format camera. And I have bought a tripod. I mean, I'm getting into
Whoa!
this. Yay! Where we go.
Whoa!
But I think the most truthful answer to that is a little at a time, one step at a time. You know,
So
go ahead.
We'll put your information on there, and they can contact you and you can tell them when you're ready.
And the other thing they can do if they like is they can send a chat question just to me, you know, so if there's something they want to do. I had judging and teaching scheduled through next year, February, and all of that has been canceled due to the COVID thing. So, you know, we just have to deal with it. And thanks to you and other people, you know, we can continue our quilting lives online.
Yeah, it's people like you and all our guests that give us a little bit of their time. That's valuable. Mm-hmm. And they can talk to you and they can get to know you and what you do. And we really appreciate it. And I know everybody here appreciates it. And we've had some of our past guests. We had Joyce Hughes and Cheryl Lynch on here, and Stevie Graves on here. And we have some future guests that are on here. And we have that troublemaker Kathy Farrar on here. I don't have any videos or pictures with you. sometimes I have pictures that I share that are probably inappropriate. And I have an inappropriate video of Kathy Farrar dancing with crabs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, Kathy, I got that. I found that just the other day. So before we start doing the door prizes, all you people who don't have your cameras on, your cameras need to be on. For a hint about Road to California. I can't give you a hint. Debbie's going to tell you who we got coming. Where are you, Deb?
I'm here.
Who do we have coming? Pepper, you rock. Thank you so much. And we're going to be back to you very shortly.
Okay.
We have some great guests coming up.
I know we got them on here, so give me a minute to find them.
I got the list right here. Next week, what do we have next week?
We got the big
Next
announcement.
week we have Matt Reese. Matt Reese from Road to California, and he's going to make a big announcement, which Linda's not going to hint about ahead of time, but
I do take
he'll be here to talk about. He's going to talk about
wine.
Going to talk about running a major quilt show and what it's like, and to set things up and how much is involved in it. And then on the 26th, we have Susan Anderson, who's a genome educator. She's going to talk to us about, there she is, about machine quilts, all about needles. We're going to learn everything about needles, right? And then in the future, we have coming, let's see, 6th first. These aren't really in order. Carol Shaw is going to be here to talk about modern quilts. Krista Moser is going to be here to talk about batting. Patience Griffin, who's the author of the Kilts and Quilts series, and she's a fabric and quilt designer. She's going to be here to talk about her life. And Krista Moser is going to talk about batting. Michelle Crawford's going to be here. Lori Baker's going to be here formerly from Foz and Porter, but now from, my mind just went blank.
Oh, there she is.
Golden Peak Media. Golden Peak Media.
There we go. We got Michelle Crawford on here.
Yep.
Give me a second to find you.
So we've got lots of people to talk to us about lots of different things. So be sure to join us every week.
Why didn't you spotlight? Oh, there you are. You're doing a free so long tomorrow?
I have a so long tomorrow. We're going to do a mug rug, which is, let's see if I can do this right side up. Like this, a sunflower. Of course, you can make it any kind of flower you want, but if you want to join the mug rug class, which is at 1 o'clock tomorrow, just email me and let me know so I can send you it's a minimal amount of supplies that you need, but email me so I know you're coming and I can send you a little supply list. And it would be Deb, D-E-B, Stan, S-T-A-N, 2 @AOL.com. So let me know if you want to come, and we'll be here 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Linda has classes coming up.
I got classes coming up. What I'm doing every month, I'm choosing a New York beauty quilt, because not everybody wants to make crabs. So this month is a little frog pond. And we have all the boys in the pond, all looking at the girl. So this is on the 22nd. Gotta sign up soon so we can get you the pick. And then this is a scrap quilt. To sunrise. There's a whole bunch of different settings for it. And it uses 72 pair of 6-inch squares. We've also been requested to do Wicked Wahine again. That'll be in September. And a refresher New York Beauty course. It's only going to be a short, remember how to piece So before we get to our door prizes, our web specials for this month. These books are out of print. This one's selling like $40-something on Amazon, on that big box store. This one's out of print. I don't think you can even get this anymore on Amazon because nobody has it. I have new copies because when AQS stopped printing, I bought out the warehouses. So I have just a few left. We are doing for our special, because I have to clean out my warehouse, because we have new books coming. So, and a pallet of books takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
We're doing both books for $40, and it includes shipping. The 2 out-of-print books.
Mm-hmm.
This one was in AQS's top 10 bestsellers. So this one retails for $26.99, and this one's $24.99. You get them both for $40 plus shipping. How's that for a good deal?
That's cool.
All right, that means time for me to fire up. Last chance for you to get your camera on, because that means it's door prize time. Our Zoomcast is sponsored in part by Banyan Boutiques, Fox Chapel Publishing, and QuoteWoman.com. And we thank them for their generous support for us. And of course, me and Deb. So let's check. See. Okay, all the people that, you only got Kathy and iPad back. All right. Where's Cheryl today? Where's Cheryl Lynch today? There you are. Would you like to pick for, you could pick for Quote Woman today. You haven't had a turn yet. What is that? No, you didn't win anything. You're drinking anyway. No, you didn't win anything. We were going to let you pick for Quote Woman.
Okay, I gotta put everybody up.
Here, you're going to put it on gallery view. So here's our first door prize.
I see.
Turn around and swirl your finger.
I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm looking.
If you win a door prize, put your name, your email address in the chat, please. And Debbie,
I'm going to go with the person who's got the cat. Who's got the cat?
who's got the cat?
Kim.
Kim. Where's Kim?
Oh, no, it's not a cat. It's her niece. It's okay. I think it's Kim.
I have a cat.
A cat. Unmute yourself.
There's a cat there.
Yay!
Is that Terry?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
This is
Oh, I'm
There's
sorry.
the cat.
This
I
is
thought it was
Mookie.
Kim's niece.
I do not
Sorry,
want
I
to
picked
be there.
Kim.
Kim. Okay. There's Kim.
Sorry.
The cat here. These are just me. Just my feet are up.
Can't find her. Deb, can you find her? Where is she? Kim. Oh, there she is. Hi, Kim.
Hi there. No
Hi.
cat.
I
No
know.
cat
Look
for
at
me.
the cat.
Just my knees. Just
Did you
sitting
see that little bottle that Cheryl was drinking?
She can't tell a cat from knees. Sorry.
So, are you drinking anything today?
Not anything you'll like. It's just iced tea with peaches.
Iced tea with peaches. What do you, is that a thumbs up or thumbs down, people?
I think
That's a
good.
thumbs up.
I think
Thumbs
that's
up.
cool.
Thumbs up. I say
Yeah,
it's a
I
thumbs
do
up.
that.
What is that?
Put your email in the chat.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, Deb, you want to go?
Oh, sure. Let's see. I'll go with page.
You're peeking.
Like it.
Turn around.
Millie Hutchins?
Let me find you. Yep. Uh-oh, she looks like somebody I want to. Oh,
Okay.
what is in that glass? Unmute yourself.
Cheetah
Hi,
tonic.
gin and tonic. That's a double ding dong.
Okay. Linda
There we
says
go.
two thumbs up,
Put your
right?
email in the chat.
Put your email in the chat so I can make sure you get a prize.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. I lost you. How did I lose you guys? There we go. All right. Where's Pepper? Let me go back to Pepper. I lost her.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
I hear you. There you are.
Okay.
Okay.
What are we
Got
doing
two.
now?
Yeah.
All right.
Close your eyes and swirl your finger where she stops. Nobody knows.
Whoops. Millie, I did it on you. I'm going to have to do it again.
Yep, she's done.
I'm sorry, Millie. Okay, here we go again. Sherry Walter.
Let me find you.
Okay, Sherry.
Sherry, there she is.
Sherry's going to get a fat quarter selection of my new colors.
Oh,
Wow, what's that?
oh, that's bad
Okay to talk?
feedback.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, Sherry.
Yeah, I think so.
These are the 10 new colors. I will send them to you. Put your address in the chat.
Hey, we got to check and see what she's doing here. Wait a minute, before you go away there, Sherry, what do you got in your glass?
Go.
I'm not even asking for help on that one.
I have it's Coke Zero. We're at work.
All right, Pepper, you got one more.
Okay. All right. Let me see. I have one more.
Sherry's with you, Deb. She likes that Coke Zero.
Okay.
Yeah, there. Coke Zero. Rules.
Both of you got the buzzer.
Oops. I have to go back to gallery so I can see everybody. Okay. Cheryl Lynch.
I'm not disqualified?
Why is she disqualified?
I'm not.
You don't have to be.
I would take Pepper's fabric. I'm just saying.
What is that?
It's Godiva chocolate liqueur.
Oh my
And
God.
what do you got? You drinking it out of the bottle?
Hardcore.
I'm going to mix it with cream later.
Gonna. You said gonna.
Yes, gonna. I'm from
All right.
New York.
All right. What do you think of it? She said she's gonna mix it.
Gonna.
Close enough.
So we're, oh.
I'm
Did
waiting
you
for all your
gonna?
votes.
I don't know. I went
There's
to the
a lot
liver
of
doctor. He
thumbs up.
told me I could drink.
Connie, good job, Connie. Yep, you're with me. Connie's with me. You're getting a lot of thumbs up. Sue, Ammerman, Wanda.
Wait, I'm not on gallery view. Are they saying it's okay?
Oh, it's kind of.
Thank you.
It's kind of.
Gonna.
This screen. This screen's kind of. Joyce is giving you a thumbs up. What?
She's my friend. That's why.
Shelly, a thumbs up. Beth Wilder. What do you think? Oh man. Oh, people. All right. So you can find Deb and I at
Oh, I have to put my
RockHollowDesigns.com. What?
Did you pick Linda?
Oh, no. I'm going to go to this other screen. Okay. I don't see any signs. Who wants to get picked? Okay, we're getting a little feisty there. Brody! Hi!
I'm still drinking water.
Do I even need to ask?
I know.
Water?
Water. It's not even 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
On Wednesdays, it's 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 o'clock when we start. Okay, does anybody have any questions for us or Pepper? All right, next week, like I said, we have Matt coming on from Road to California with a super big announcement. I think you'll all like it. If you want to know ahead of time, private message me. I'll give you my address. And for a bottle of wine, I will tell you what the big announcement is. My Zumba girls leave bottles of wine on my doorstep, and then leave little secret notes on them. So, how do you get to know about these in the future? You can either Facebook friend me personally. You could go on Frog Hollow Designs, which is on Facebook. We also have our own So What Zoomcast Facebook page. And we're going to post Pepper's contact information after, and all our guests, we post their contact information. We will post the recording of this Zoomcast on Friday mornings. This way you guys have a little special thing going on. So,
And the sign-in is the same every week. So if you're here now, come back next week.
yeah, this is you got the keys to my kingdom with this number and the password.
You can even come to Zumba.
Yeah, Zumba is on Mondays and Wednesdays at 9:30 in the morning. We have quilters from all over the country. We have some national teachers. We have some fun. It's not skinny girl six-pack Zumba. It's fluffy person with a K Zumba. So it's adjusted accordingly.
Linda?
Yes.
Linda? Hi. Can I just make an announcement for Becky Scalato? She's with Shibori Dragon. She was doing her first Zoom with you from her store and was having to take care of customers, so she had to leave. Gee, that's too bad. I mean, Anyways, she has 2 different websites. One is called Shibori Dragon, and I put the website up there. This is Sashiko and Japanese Textiles. It's also the name of her store in Washington. Her other one is called all-things-sashiko.com. And it is all Sashiko items, thread, needles, fabric, everything that Pepper was talking about. She also sells on eBay, Etsy, and Amazon. She's a very, very busy woman selling her Sashiko and Japanese textiles. And I hope she gets to come on. I'd rather have her have customers, but I thought I'd put in a plug for her. So thank you.
Hey, thank you. Okay, Dr. Pepper. So Pepper, you were just amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You may have inspired me to do Sashiko.
Well, do it on, you said maybe a coaster, cool, but you'd probably get a lot of use out of a blue jean jacket,
Oh yeah, I wear jean
yeah.
jackets all the time, yeah.
Yeah, you want one that's nice and soft, that you've probably worn for a while. It's much easier to stitch.
Cool, excellent. So
Thank
All
you.
right, everybody.
Thank you.
Yep. Please be safe, everybody. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. And hopefully we'll be out of this soon
Oh, I hope so.
so that we can see you in person. Don't forget, visit our website, sign up for classes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Love you. See you all next week.
See you later.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Mary Frankel. Hi.